All right, Shalom. Praises to Yahweh Bashmi Awashai, Basham Ukakodash, the blessings to the apostles of GMS, and peace and blessings to the elect. Another edition of the Mark of the Beast. And this is from the River Falls Journal. And it's dealing with what happened earlier this summer. And this dealing with what happened earlier this summer with this 3 Square Market and this chipping party they had to implant their employees with microchips. All right, to pay for items at their these different kiosks where they eat lunch at, and it's just a little, I guess you could say, overview of it. But I just noticed some interesting points, which is important when it comes to this mark of the beast and this chip that's going to be mandatory worldwide. But first things have to happen to make sure the public is ready. So I'm going to read some of this article. All right. And I'm going to go into it. It says top 10 Wisconsin company gets worldwide coverage of chip party. All right. And it says the world seemed to come to River Falls in August, filling into the Sterling Ponds Business Park with 3 Square Market as its destination. It says normally when the River Falls Journal heads out to cover local stories, we're one of the few, occasionally the only media on site. We're typically joined by Falcon News Service, WVR, community television. Sometimes we'll run into the people from Eau Claire or the Twin Cities TV names. It says this time things were different. All right, so basically it's saying that this wasn't just a local event. All right, in Wisconsin, this is something that's mainstream. It says news that 3 Square Market will be chipping volunteering employees spread quickly. Media from around the country and from other parts of the world packed into the makeshift press room, subtly fighting for camera space and the best shot. The Today Show, BBC, USA Today, and more all had coverage of the event. All right, so this was a big thing, you know. It goes on. It says about 50 employees in total had the microchip implanted into their hands, and that day we got to witness a handful of them going through the process. A syringe was used to implant the chip just below the skin, between the thumb and forefinger. The process took about 2 seconds, and according to a few employees, was practically painless. It says, I honestly didn't even feel it, said Sam Bingston, one of the lead developers on the project. Yeah, so this chip is becoming more and more mainstream, and it's becoming more and more accepted worldwide. Okay? Because, you got a lot of these other Israelite groups, all right, that were talking a lot of shit years back, man. About how great Millstone teaches and how they say that the mark of the beast is the chip. But I tell you now, I haven't seen anything recently about these guys, going against the chip being the mark. Because, once this article came out and it was showing that people were actually not just getting the chip implanted, but it wasn't used for tracking like Bishop Nathaniel of the IUIC says, it wasn't just being used for GPS. It was being used for actually making payments, and they were getting it implanted in their hands, and that lines up perfectly with the prophecy in Revelation the 13th chapter. Okay, so it says it goes on to say, it says the chip uses Rfid technology. So what are these guys talking about, man? Nate hasn't done an update on the mark of the beast, not that I've seen. All right. This guy's the Bach of HOI. He says he doesn't necessarily believe. He says, matter of fact, he says the mark is John 3:16. Along with these other groups that don't even teach the same thing, but when it comes down to certain prophecies and understandings, they come against, starting with the apostles, they come against GMS as if we're just, some kind of wisecracks, You know, a bunch of buffoons. But things are more and more showing you that what we've been saying over the years, pursuing the prophecy, it's coming to pass now, and now these guys don't have nothing to say. Okay. So it says the chip uses RFID technology, the same as used in credit card and cell phone purchases. Most of the technology, however, comes from outside programming and devices, right? So it says the same RFID technology, this chip, is used in credit card and cell phone purchases. Now, why did it mention purchases? You know, if it's just some old new tech that is not something that we should be worrying about. Because it wants to pinpoint that once you get this device in your hand, you can pay for things, you can buy, and you can sell. And that's what's going on here. Okay? So it says, although about half of the employees volunteered for the chipping, many also decided not to do it. These employees are using wristbands or smart rings instead. You know? And those, you look, smartwatch and all of that, that's not the mark of the beast. The mark of the beast is the chipping. Once you get the chip inserted within your hand with this syringe, that's the mark of the beast. You know, because the scripture talks about refusing the mandatory mark or the incision, all right, of the mark of the beast that's going to allow you to buy and sell. Now, at that point, it's going to be mandatory to get the chip. But at this point, you have other technologies that's capable to do the same thing. You know? And these people refusing it, and that's the right spirit to have. Because you got to refuse this thing when the government starts pushing this chip on the earth, man, whether it's mandatory or not. Because if you don't, then you're going to be destroyed by the Most High. Okay? So it says, I'd just like to know more about the long-term health effects, market executive Katie Langer said, explaining why she opted not to get chipped. Though the chip is FDA approved, she said she still had concerns because something didn't sit right in the spirit with it. All right? And that's a good thing. It says a software engineering company, 3 Square Market, chose to offer the microchipping to its employees as a way to further understand its potential market options. Because they want to push this chip out to the public and not just utilize it in buying and selling, but other services are going to provide you with the chip, because the chip's going to have more. It has the potential to have more than just your bank information. It can have your medical information as well, or your school records, whatever they need. So it says we need to master this ourselves if we're going to take it to market, President Patrick McMullen said. All right. Let's see what else. It says we're going to be responsible. We're going to be respectful, McMullen said. Today at 3 Square Market, employees are using the chips to enter the buildings, log into their computers, and buy food in the break room. So you can enter the building, you can log into your smartphone or your computer, and you can buy food. So this thing has a numerous amount of applications. This chip has a numerous amount of applications that people can use it for, okay? It says, we're really just having fun with it right now, said CEO Todd Westby. As for possible future uses, and this is what I wanted to get to. It says, as for possible future uses, 3 Square Market told reporters in August it was working on a variety of ideas. McMullen said the company had received more than 100 inquiries from groups including banks, hospitals, right, buying and selling, having your medical records, and it says in foreign government security, because it's going to be a worldwide thing. They're pushing it in the UK, they're going to push it in Asia, they're going to push it in Africa, they're going to push it all over the world. It says we're just really getting into what it can do, Westby said. All right? And it's talking about August. This was December 28th. So just about 3 or 4 days ago. So this thing is making headway, man. The prophecy of the mark and the beast is making headway strong, man. Okay? Strong. And that's including these natural disasters like the snow The snow freeze right now. All right, up north, northeast U.S. Okay, the mark of the beast is making headway. Yo, all this month has been all kinds of prophetic news, man. All right, things are happening. So you just got to be prepared and make sure that you're watching the signs, because when the time comes, all hell's going to break loose in this society, and you're going to have your faith and understanding what's going on, through the scriptures. So the mark of the beast, which is the RFID microchip, all right, it's growing strong. But with that, I'm going to end it there. Hope all was edified. I'm going to give all praises to Yahweh Bashmi Awashai by Hashem Rakakwadash. Double honors to the apostles of GMS and the elders, and shalom to the elect brothers out there. Stay strong. Shalom.